Should I have my hat off? I can have my hat off if you want.
It don't matter.
If it's better on the face or, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, because right now my hair's a little crazy. Yeah. Whoa. That's kind of crazy. Well, maybe it's good to have crazy hair in an interview. I don't know. It's like, that's how I look. Honestly, let me switch hats real quick. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Need a better hat.
I need a different hat. I can't be right. I don't mind being cringe in some ways. We just all have our cringe limits, you know.
Yeah. Pink hat's great.
Pink hat is its own cringe, you know. Let's do it.
You ready?
Yep. Yeah, we'll leave that there.
Okay, it's Ethan's birthday.
Yeah.
35.
Yep.
35, yes. Okay. Everyone's turning 35
Yeah.
in your friend group.
Yep.
Well, not our friend
I
group.
guess our friend group, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Your class.
My class, yep.
08?
Oh, 08.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, so in the greater friend group, like outside of high school, I think it's almost still like half 08, half 06. Because I think Joe and Jason and Andrew and Daniel and Stephanie are like 06, 05. Stephanie might be 05.
Uh-huh.
And then me, Seth, Kelsey, Mike, maybe Dana, I'm pretty sure, Emily, Bonnie, not Jake, he's younger. Yeah. Sarah, I think, is a year younger in school. But yeah, so it's still like an interesting, there's like no 07s.
No.
Yeah,
No.
Fuck that year. No one was born in 89.
You know Caleb?
Seth was, but yeah. Wait, Mike.
Caleb Piper?
Oh, yeah.
I think he's 07.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. I know him because he's friends with Drew Bacon, because his wife is one of the best friends of Drew's wife.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're also friends with Megan.
Uh-huh.
And so I see him at Megan's parties, and then occasionally if I go to like a Drew Bacon baby shower or something, because he has a couple of kids every now and then.
Yeah, that's interesting little mix.
Yeah,
we got.
Yeah. It's because it's kind of. It's also interesting how I feel like the high school in the colony, you just see and know people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because we were all in the Metroplex. And most people stayed in the Metroplex as adults, so even if not everyone is in the colony, people see each other all over the fucking Metroplex. Yeah,
for sure.
And I feel like I was thinking about this the other day actually about the colony high school is that everyone, I'm sure there's bullying everywhere, but I think as an overall school, it was a pretty nice school.
Mm-hmm.
Like the people in the colony were pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there were a lot of cliques, and everybody pretty much kept to themselves.
Yeah.
Or within their little cliques.
Yep. And again, there were some pockets of bullying, as are typical. But yeah, I feel like I see people, all over, and they seem pretty nice. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yep, 35th birthday.
Yep. All right, yeah, we're here in San Marcos at your house that is being remodeled.
Yeah.
Well, what you've done looks great.
Thanks.
And I know you still got a ways to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, still got a bit, but definitely excited about how it's coming. Trying some new things out, which is always interesting and to see how that goes. And then, I try not to think about how much is left. Just focus on what I got. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're basically doing a one-man demolition here. Yeah, because it's I'm pretty sure by the time I'm done with it, it's going to be everything will have been touched besides the majority of the studs. But all the drywall will be gone, new sheathing, the siding is all new, the roof is all new, the insulation is all new. That's nice. The floors are new, probably half the electrical, some of the plumbing. Yeah. Yeah, so I forget about that sometimes. I'm like, yeah, that's a lot for just one guy. With the full-time gig, and all the other things, I do forget about that because sometimes I'm like, I'm so far behind.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess you made a timeline up in your
For
head.
myself, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean, I think you're doing fine.
Thanks.
I mean, yeah. You live here and you have a full-time job.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're doing fine.
Okay, cool. Thanks, man. Because, I mean, I'm really pushing.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, we're here every couple months, and like, I don't really know the progress you're making. And then I pull up, and like you do stuff. Like some people would just give up for months at a time, but you're still doing stuff.
Yeah, and I do give up for weeks at a time.
Mm-hmm.
A couple weeks, and then I'm like, thankfully we host enough. And that seems to help keep me on like a I gotta push before the next event.
Forces you to
Yep.
keep going.
Because I was like, people are going to be in the dining room for Friendsgiving, so it has to at least have sheathing in a ceiling.
Uh-huh.
And then like, oh man, people are going to be here for my birthday. I want to get these cabinets looking as close to finished as they can.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I don't see people, I see you often, but I don't see everybody that comes to my birthday often.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them I only see at my birthday.
Mm.
And so I'm like, here's the update on the house, for them.
Oh, yeah.
And for me too, because I know I got to also go back to school, and it would be awesome if I could work on it 4 days a week.
Yeah.
But it ends up being 2 to 3,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm lucky that I get Fridays from the school schedule.
Yeah.
But we also have an active friend group, and there seems to be a birthday every other week, and like
weekends usually booked.
Yeah,
with
and
not working on the house.
I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are also and it's also all things that I personally don't find is negotiable. Like if somebody invites me to their birthday, I'm going to do everything I can to get there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a thing where I'm just like, there'll be another one.
No.
It's like, this is an important thing for these people.
Yeah, maybe if you were younger. But
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like as we get older, definitely.
Yeah.
You gotta hang out.
And even if it's a kid's birthday, I'm just like, all right, you
got to.
If I was having a birthday for a child, I would want all my close people to come.
Yeah.
So you show up, you do your thing. Yeah. But yeah, it does make you kind of busy. Sometimes Kelsey and I are just like, oh, there's too many things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
me and Anna we found that we have to schedule weekends off.
Yes, you got to plan it.
Yeah,
yep.
You really do.
Yep.
Yeah, we've had like 2 weekends off probably since we've been living together.
Yeah. Well, and with the renovation, I get fatigued on the weekends because fatigued, but like I go and I work on the house and then go to the event. And so my brain is like kind of tired.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you did today. You worked for 3 or 4 hours, right?
Yep.
And then
have a birthday tonight.
Then, you got to do 6 hours of socializing.
Yep. And you get a little tired from that, but it also has to be done again. If I don't do the thing, it won't get done. And I think since I'm living in it too, that is helping push me. Now, we have almost always, except for like the second tiny house, we've almost always lived in an unfinished house. Mm-hmm. And by unfinished, I mean like maybe the 95%. Trim is... maybe the trim is missing, or I didn't get to that like makeup cabinet that I told Kelsey I would make her. Mm-hmm. Like there's things, or like in the third tiny house, we didn't have that bathroom for a long time.
Yeah.
Until I sold it.
Yeah.
But I always try to make it aesthetically pleasing in the finished parts.
Yeah.
It's like cool.
Acceptable.
Yeah, the whole that whole room over there might be demoed one day for a year, who knows? But like at least the parts where I'm hanging out mostly are good enough. And I do end up stressing about stuff occasionally. Because I see so much content on carpentry that I'm like, and I know that I have enough skills that I'm just like, all right, it could be better. Like but then I'm also like, but those people have more time, more tools, and more. They're also doing it for work.
Yeah, they're getting paid.
Yep.
Probably pretty well for it.
Yeah. And I am working on short spurts of time.
Mhm.
Oh, I have 18 hours. Like, let's get the side. Yeah. So I'm trying to think about ways that I can get it up in an effective way, where it's like, oh, okay, that needs to be screwed on, and there doesn't need to be a finish on the seams, on the walls, because otherwise it's going to take too long.
Yeah.
So then it's just figuring out how to do that in an aesthetically pleasing way. But anyways, we don't have to go on about the house. I will talk about it all the time.
I'm
It's
sure
literally all I do.
I'm pretty sure it's going to come up anyways.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah.
All right, let's begin. Do you have a favorite moment from this past year?
Man, we did go to Hawaii,
Oh, yeah.
and that was cool. Yeah, Hawaii was a pretty cool moment, I would say. And then we've been having some really good time together this last year. Kelsey and I oftentimes get really busy, and our busy interests are in different ways or different directions. So sometimes we can not see each other for long periods of time. And or like spend a lot of time together. Sure, we see each other for most evenings, but it's usually for a short period of time. Where like we eat some dinner and then I'm going to do some work, or there for some time she was doing some work, or she's got a cake to bake and I got an art thing to do. But this last year I've been spending a lot more time just hanging out with Kelsey in the evenings. And so that's been pretty nice. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that part of the answer.
Yeah. That was a cool chunk.
Did you had to force yourself to do that, or did you come to the realization that this is probably something I need to do as a human person?
Yeah.
Or did you accidentally find yourself doing it, like hanging out together?
She was, well, coincidentally, she had knee surgery, so she was home for 5 months. And so that just, and I, teach, and then I'm here working on the house. So I was here and seeing her a lot. And so I think that, did that. And then, also just, I think, every couple of years you end up getting a new appreciation for your romantic partner, if you allow it. Some people every few years get a reminder that they don't like them, but some people get a reminder that they do like them. And maybe I just ran into a patch of that, but I've kind of just been vibing with Kels this last year, and that's been cool. Not that we were ever not vibing, but like that has been a nice part.
Yeah.
A new, like not a new thing because we've been together for a long time, but a newer thing because for a long time I was also just in school.
Yeah.
Heads down.
Yeah, you were.
and like active. I was so busy in school. That was nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, you had 16-hour days.
4 days a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gone.
And then I did weekend stuff. Like I was doing stuff. Yeah. Socializing and I tried to take advantage of it. It was good. But anyways, this last year, hanging out with Kelsey was really nice. Another nice moment was doing Eli's birthday with the Hot Ones. Because he doesn't ever do anything for his birthday, really.
Yeah.
Like, we might get together and stuff, but it was nice to give him a little event. Because I like events. And he is a little more reserved of a person on a public stage than myself. But he performs well.
Yeah.
And so I like it when he does speak in front of people.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dang, you're good at that. But that's not his inclination.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was cool. I actually just listened to the audio and the video of that. And it was nice.
Yeah, that was cool. I find myself thinking about that
Yeah, I'll share the audio.
every at least once a week. I don't know why.
Yeah.
That's just that was a cool experience we all had.
Yeah. And like, didn't you document the wings, or were we just filming, or did you take photos as well?
I was taking photos.
Okay. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was after
Because I just set up a
after
phone.
every wing, I would
Yep.
try to go around and take pictures.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. And Joe came in that chicken costume.
Oh yeah, I'll put that picture up.
Yeah. And what was great about the chicken costume is that it was shorts. It wasn't pants. Yeah, Joe
What
has
the-
such a good
That was
sense
so
of
random.
style, even in the chicken costume.
That was so random.
Yeah. So that was very nice. And yeah, I listened back to some of the stuff that Eli talked about. And yeah, it was very thoughtful and very funny. In some parts, we were having a good little riff. And so that was nice. And I really enjoyed that. And I was glad that, like, the friends were here and family was here. You know, Piper's in the area now. So that's cool to have, like, that chunk of people. And then also Thomas and Alan. You know, we grew up with them. The boys more so, but like, yeah, at holidays they were just right down the street, so we did see them. And so yeah, it's nice to kind of just continue having events with people. You know, I mean, you have a pretty connected family as well, but some people continue having events, but yeah, they're not always hanging out like that. They just see each other at events. And maybe it's that we have enough events that it feels like more casual hanging out. You know, I feel like some people go to an event once a year with their family and it's a little more like, oh, this is the thing. And I feel like since we all get together so frequently, it's not like you don't even have to catch up with somebody. You're just like,
You
whatever
already know.
conversation you're having.
It just continues from last time we were
Yep.
hanging out.
Oh, yeah, that's what we're talking about. Okay, yeah. How's that
Yeah.
going? Oh, pretty good. Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Hawaii was cool just again because it was a cool trip. Hanging out with Kelsey, probably the most comfortable and meaningful part of the year. And then Eli's birthday was very fun and exciting, and a great experience. Because who knows, we may never get another event-based birthday for Eli again until he's 40. You know, maybe I'll just do one for him every 10 years.
Oh,
you
man.
know? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so pretty neat. Yeah, so that's probably the year.
Nice. 3 events.
Yeah.
All right. Did you try something new this past year? I mean, I guess you touched on Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii. Oh, yeah.
That place is pretty different than anywhere else you've ever traveled.
Yeah, I've only traveled, I mean, that's in the States, but I've only traveled on the
Yeah,
continent.
but I mean, it's
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
it's a chain of islands, you know, hundreds of miles
Nuts.
away.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're over the ocean, that was weird for me. Because I was like, oh, we are over the ocean in a
And you
plane.
can't see any land.
There's just ocean.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, and especially for my first time, you know,
Mhm.
and I was just like, oh, well, kind of crazy that we do that. We just send an object into the air, like, over the ocean.
Yeah.
So, nowhere to land.
Mhm.
And, but Hawaii was incredible. The lush vegetation was far more dense and saturated than I could have expected.
Mm-hmm.
The first maybe 2 or 3 days, I can't remember. We were there for several days. It kind of rained. It rains a lot there, but it was kind of foggy too. So we didn't really get all of the visuals in some of the locations that we went. But then when it opened up, we were just like, oh my God, this is insane. Yeah, met a guy there who was a carpenter. He told me it's totally doable to live a life down here.
Mhm.
Just work and you'll be fine. Because there aren't a lot of carpenters and there's a lot of things that need rebuilding. Because any ocean town is constantly falling apart.
Right.
You know? And then the food was pretty good. It wasn't anything spectacular. I don't think Hawaii's like a food destination spot, at least where we were at in Kauai. But it was good. I mean, I fell in love with the food for sure. But it seems like, at least at the Hawaiian spots that we went, like a few options. Like they do a few things. which makes sense. It's an island. It has probably culturally had limited resources for a long time.
Yeah.
They weren't probably, I don't know how extensive the trade routes through Hawaii were.
Yeah, they're kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, I could maybe see people from probably Japan and people from the United States making stops if they were crossing that ocean. But yeah, I don't, could be totally wrong. But Hawaii was cool in terms of like a new place to go.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything, because also a lot of this year has been work focused, because I'm really been just trying to put a good foot forward teaching. And so I did, I tried some new assignments, which are always interesting. I tried some new ways to teach students how to understand certain things and like concepts in design and different ways to use their computer program. And that's always fun to teach somebody in a new way, because you're like, ooh, does this way work? Like, oh, let's see the results. But you also can't fully be experimenting, because you do need, the goal is still for them to learn it.
Yeah, they got to learn.
So you have to be doing quick analysis of your teaching skills. And so I found that instead of making longer projects, which a lot of the program is based on long projects with small checkoffs in between, but students will avoid checkoffs because they're just like, well, I don't see, it's not for points, so I'm just going to do it all at the end. Everything in design happens in the end. Most people procrastinate. Most humans, just in general. So it's not like a phenomenon, it's just like what we do. But like, since they do that, you can unfortunately not get feedback on how you're teaching for a while. Because you're like, well, I haven't seen anything from you. Oh God, at the end it was terrible. Or, oh wow, this is incredible. I just was, wow, okay. I love when I hear another instructor say like, presentation surprise or something like that, where it's just like, oh, I had never seen any of this work and that's pretty cool. So since I'm new to teaching, I'm trying to find my groove with it. I'm giving them shorter assignments so I can like quickly see like, oh, failed that. Oh, passed that. Oh, did this. Oh, didn't do that. How do I adjust those things? And then I tried this new technique again in the house with the mirrors in the window. That turned out pretty neat.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I had seen something maybe 15 years ago, maybe 10 to 15 years ago, in a book, where somebody was doing something with like, maybe it was mirrors or stained glass or something wrapping into a window. And I was like, that gives an interesting effect, because it was in more of a futuristic kind of a space. And so I was like, oh, I wonder how that would look in a different space. So, yeah.
And you did it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you pulled it off.
Thanks.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been sitting on the idea, wanting to do it for a long time, but, it is kind of it's a tricky thing to figure out how to place the mirrors in those areas, and then like how you're going to trim it, and are the mirrors flush with the wood or with the trim, or are they inset, or does it have no trim? Like, it just took a while to kind of wrap my head around it and then execute it. And yeah, I thought that was kind of a neat new thing.
Yeah.
And then I've been trying this new suppository. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
What is it, coffee?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing coffee enemas. I hear they're great for you.
And I feel great.
It's crazy in the morning how invigorated you can feel once you're pumped full of coffee.
And then it comes right back out.
Oh, God, it does. The thing about coffee, just as a little side tangent about poop, the thing about coffee is that if I drink it, I have to poop. I don't know what it is.
Like, pretty quickly?
Pretty quick. And it could just be that I'm regular. Maybe I have to poop at that time every morning. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people say that. Coffee makes you poop. I don't have that problem. Maybe it helps me go, but
yeah,
I don't feel like I have to go right after I drink coffee.
Yeah, like I need to make a decision on if I'm going to stay at the coffee shop for the next hour, or if I'm going to be on a walk, or like I just should probably be near.
You got a
that.
plan.
Yeah, and it's not violent. No, it's just like, oh, okay,
It's time to go.
It's time to go. I'd rather not be in the river right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you can poop in there, but it's not respectful.
Yeah, don't be rude.
Yeah, don't be rude. Yeah, so I'd say that those are the things that I've done this year. Some new things. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, what is something that used to be difficult but is now easy or easier?
Ooh, I mean, does that mean like within a specific time period? Like,
Just
just in general.
whenever.
Okay,
Throughout
okay.
your whole entire life.
Yeah, something that was difficult that is now easier. A lot of the things that are difficult, I just try to avoid. I don't imagine I'm alone in that. But
I mean,
yeah,
I suppose it depends on, what you're into and
yeah,
what are your goals in life.
yeah,
If you're into carpentry, you're gonna do the difficult stuff until you get good at it,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Or find ways to simplify your process. That seems to be. Actually, yeah, that's probably something that I do a lot. There are some things that I feel I would like to train, and I'm always trying to definitely level up one thing at a time in my life. It's not anything specific all the time. Well, I guess it is rather specific. But because I'm trying to do that, I'm also trying to balance my skilling. So like if I'm skilling something, you can't skill everything all the time. And so sometimes, for me personally at least, because I do value low stress environments, people think I like high stress environments, which is true. I do well in high stress environments, but I'm seeking low stress environments because it's nicer. I feel like people think sometimes when you can function in high stress or at a fast pace that you like it. And it's like, no, it's still not cool. I'd much rather wake up and play some video games and chill. But some internal wheel inside of me also combats that and is like, don't sit, you miserable worm. And sure, some of that is probably cultural, but I also think that some of that is just some people. In all cultures, there are going to be people that are high strung and people that are low strung. But anyways, I'm trying to balance some of the skilling, but and I think that that's something that's getting easier, is figuring out how to enjoy relaxing better. Yeah. And something that I've always used as a way to deal with not wanting to relax is by maintaining a high social community, like a high functioning social community where I can always be visiting with someone, because that is a way of keeping busy, like in a sense. It's not productive, but it is productive to me as a person who values community. That's me maintaining friendships.
Yeah.
Very valuable. And I love my friends. But as my friends have gotten older and people have families and more regimented schedules, I've expanded my friend group, but you can only expand so far because also the median age continues to rise. You don't continue to have friends that are in that 20s age. I have a lot of friends in their 20s because I went to school recently. But anyways, the point is that at some point you can you can maintain a high level of social interaction, but you have to reduce it. It reduces naturally on its own to some degree, at least with new people. So I've been forced in a way to deal with more solitary time. And I think that a part of my interest also with social engagement, on top of just being an extroverted person, is that my early adulthood, like 18 to 21, I lived a pretty solitary life. Like I saw y'all, but y'all were mostly in the colony.
Yeah.
And even though Mike lived with me, he hung out in the colony all the time. Like he and I never just hung out in Denton. And I remember thinking like, damn, how are we supposed to like check out this new city if we never check it out?
Yeah.
Like we're not going to, and then Seth moved in and I was like, all right, Seth didn't have a car at the time. He just moved in with me and we were going to like work at the hospital and share a car. So I was like, I guess he and I will just explore around the city because he didn't have a vehicle. No, he was in the colony every weekend. And I was just like, all right. And I just wasn't going to drive down there because I had driven down there for 4 years in high school.
Yeah.
I didn't need to drive. And I understand why they drove down there. That was their home.
Yeah.
It's where they came from. I didn't come from there. Not for a long time.
Their parents were still there.
Their parents were there. All you guys were there. So like y'all were all hanging out. And so I got to spend a lot of time during that era developing my artwork. So because I would just sit at home and do artwork all weekend. I'd spray paint in the house in my apartment because I didn't want to spray paint outside of it and get in trouble. So I would instead open up the windows and just spray paint in the house,
Nice.
like lay down papers and stuff.
I'm sure that wasn't healthy, but
Nope, super not healthy. But I needed to get it done, you know. And Seth
Screw
would
it.
come home after the weekend and be like, spray painting in the house again. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
you bet.
And I was like, dude, shut up. You have $100 rent.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're sleeping with girls on my couch. Just take it, dude. Spray paint. So anyways, I had that solitary time, and also even just going to high school in the colony, but living in Aubrey was kind of solitary because I didn't go home after school and see anybody. And that's why I think I ended up getting a job pretty early too, is because I was like, oh cool, I can make money and just see all my friends because everyone worked at IKEA.
Yep.
And that was nice. So, because I remember I'd come see y'all on the weekends in the colony, and y'all had already had several things happen throughout the week because y'all were probably hanging out during the week.
Yeah, like every day.
Every day. Yeah, Y'all just hung out 7 days a week, and I
Yeah.
would see y'all for like 2.5 to 3.
Yeah.
Which is a lot to hang out with people. But I also then got a girlfriend and was hanging out with her a lot and would just see y'all in the evenings. So, yeah, I feel like my direction was also a little different because of that. Like I only saw y'all 30% of the time that y'all saw each other. And then lived with the guys, but also kind of just did my own thing. Then I moved down here, and that's when I started to meet people. You know, met Cassidy and some new folks, but also was still like working on my artwork because that's what I was used to doing. And then when I met like Emily and Andrew and Bonnie, and Kelsey and I were back together and meeting up with them, that was like pivotal for like, oh, we could just hang out with people all the time again, like as adults. So now we have money and we can. So then that just kicked off constant socialization. And I've just been doing that ever since. But now I'm having to do a little bit more isolated work. I did get isolated work as an adult in the sense that I worked alone for most of my adulthood. Like Eli worked with me for a good chunk of years, or a couple of years, I guess, 2017 to the end of 2019. And then we worked together after I graduated. But a lot of the time that I was working on the other houses, it was just by myself in the woods. And so, yeah, so a lot of alone time. And so now I'm just trying to get back into that, and that is becoming easier. This is the longest way to just say that I've been learning how to relax, and I've obviously, and I'm learning how to engage with less people. Yeah. I also, though, think that I just think all the time, and I talk to myself all the time, like in full conversation, and I've always done that.
Yeah.
And I notice that when I do that for an extended period of time, it's a sign to me that I should just go see somebody and talk to them about this stuff.
Not like in a therapy.
No.
Not, yeah, just I need a friend.
Yeah, I'm just yeah. I'm not like going to people because sometimes people will tell me I'm not really vulnerable, and I'm like, I feel like I talk all the fucking time. Like, but I guess since I'm not talking about my struggles necessarily, but I'm also not focusing on them most of the time. I have struggles, but I get back to thinking about whatever other little thing I'm thinking about.
Crazy
Some art thing.
concept of the universe.
Yeah. I'm just like, here's the real problem, guys. The universe is whatever. And so I then will like go find somebody to chat with. And that was really easy for a long period of time because everyone was available. Now they're getting a little bit more tied down with family. I have some friends in college, but most of my friends from college moved away from San Marcos after college. Makes sense. There's more job opportunities out there. So I was like, okay. I did have a friend here for a little while, shout out to Sydney. But then she moved up to Austin. Again, job opportunities totally makes sense.
Yeah.
But she was probably one of my last younger friends that I would hit up regularly. Because also I knew younger people just have more flexible schedule. Mm-hmm. And I'm a person that doesn't mind hanging out at 10 o'clock. Because what else am I doing? I'm not doing, sure, I'll just hang out till midnight or 1 and then I got to go.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of people are like, whoa, that's way too late to start. And I'm like, we're not doing anything. And I know you're just sitting at home on your couch.
Yeah.
Like, let me just come sit on your couch, and tell you some things that I've been thinking about. Or listen to what you're talking about as well. Yeah. I do hear a lot about what other people are going through. But anyways, yeah, getting easier or better at doing a little bit more of that. Yeah.
There you go. All right. If you could create a rule that everyone had to follow, what would it be?
Oh, man, I was thinking about this. This is so hard.
Yeah, and it can be as silly or as serious as you want it to be.
Yeah. And I only can think of silly rules.
Send it.
Because, otherwise you just get into the things that, I don't know, are important.
That are insane and you have zero control over?
Or it's just like the rule is nobody can kill themselves. And it's like, okay, well, that's an important rule. Well, wait, so everyone does follow it?
It's hypothetical.
Okay, I know. Well, that just helps me understand it, like, do people die if they don't follow it?
No.
Okay, so this is just a rule.
It's like,
just a casual
just think of
rule.
something that in your head is gonna happen if you decide that this is the rule.
The rule is... The rule is that all I can think about is something to do with knee hand. And so the rule is that you have to keep your hand on your knee for, I don't know. I was going to say as long as you can every day, but people are going to just dip on that. So maybe 9 hours a day, you have to live with one hand touching one knee. You can do everything else that you need to do.
You gotta do knee hand for 9 hours.
And you could swap hands,
As long as there's a hand on your knee.
There needs to be a hand on your knee.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Let's see. Or, I think just a good rule in general is that people should... Well, I thought of one good rule, and I think that's that people should just take shoes off when they enter people's houses. Mm-hmm. I don't even do it, especially not in my own house because I'm in and out building. But I'm not saying I'm good at that. I'm just saying I think that inherently is a good rule. Mm. Like, we step on shit in asphalt and concrete and bathroom floors, public bathroom floors, and then we track them into the places that we cook food. And so I just think that that's probably a good rule.
Yeah.
More people should follow. And I get, especially at my house, it's hard because at parties we're in and out.
Yeah.
So that's why I never adhere to it here for people, because I'm just like, we're in and out. I'm going to scrub the floors anyway. Mm-hmm. But in general, in other people's houses, I think it's nice. There was another rule. What was I thinking that was a good rule? Oh, yeah, I think in general another good rule is that people should try their best to not interrupt people.
Oh, yeah.
And if you interrupt people, which nobody is at fault for speaking at the same time as somebody. Sometimes there's a short pause, you thought they were done, and you chime in, and then they're chiming in. But it's when that person that chimed in or like did the first interruption continues to barrel through their thought, I'm like, bro, give up the stage. Let this other person finish their long-winded thought. Then you can give your, like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a friend, another shout out to Topher, who introduced me to this idea casually, and it really stuck. And I come from a family that interrupts each other. And it always kind of bothered me, but it's a part of it was a part of my interacting as well. But one time Topher, and I don't know if he was trying to give me a sign, that's how I took it, not in a malicious way, but in a positive way, where he talked to me about an experiment that he was working on. Again, could have been hypothetical, just as a way to tell me not to interrupt. I don't know. But he said that he's been practicing not even making agreeable noises when people speak. I know. Not even going, or yeah, or which
To show engagement.
yeah, he was like, I just but he does give full eye contact or like enough eye contact. But yeah, it's pretty full in a good way. But he wasn't responding with noises for a chunk of time. And I remember he told me that, and I was like, huh. And he said it was, to allow somebody to fully give their perspective, essentially, like without, because I feel like sometimes, especially if we start going, yeah, I know what you mean. It's like that person could change what they were going to talk about in a sense, That's obviously I think it's a bad explanation of it. But the point is, that made me aware of when I was interrupting people. And so I made it a point to just stop. If somebody starts talking a lot, I will mostly let them just go. It's like, oh. Because I also am pretty good at remembering where the conversation left off. So I will just let somebody interrupt me for as long as they need to. Because obviously they felt like they needed to speak right then. And that's fine. Some people aren't aware of that.
Yeah.
And then once they're done, I don't mind going back 5 minutes.
Hit and rewind.
Yeah. So anyways, I think that people are just, 2 rules: don't interrupt, and take your shoes off in other people's houses as often as makes sense. If you're working, again, outside, inside, outside, don't worry about it.
Right.
Yeah. But if you're going to be in the home for 15 hours, take the boots off,
If work time's over and it's time to settle down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good rules. What do you love to do that no one knows about?
Oh, God, dude. We really got to talk about that?
I don't even know.
Yeah. Let's see. What do I love to do that nobody knows about?
What are you into?
Oh, God.
You don't. You find yourself not disclosing.
Jesus Christ.
I mean,
Yeah. I feel like after my roast, everything that I've ever not disclosed was disclosed.
It's all out there.
Yeah. Because I also do disclose most things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will tell you.
This is sometimes this question doesn't apply to people because they're just an open book.
Yeah.
I feel like it's probably mostly true for you.
Yeah.
If there is something, you can't even think of it.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time with it because I will tell people just about anything, and especially if they ask. Please ask, and I will tell you. But I'm not going to
more than happy.
I'm not going to tell you something with not all. I won't tell people some things without prompting because I don't want them to actually be uncomfortable. I'm okay with people thinking I'm weird. I just don't want people to feel weird around me.
Yeah.
Think I'm a freak and a whatever. That's fine. My reputation is not what I'm as concerned about as much as your perception or your how comfortable you feel.
Comfortability
Yeah.
around you.
Yeah. Because I really don't have any ill intentions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, and
Yeah.
so I really, if I made somebody upset or feel weird, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Like,
I am weird, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be
I'm
weird
not
to
mean
you.
or bad. Yeah. And so I don't ever want that. But let's see, what's something that I'm into that people don't really know about? You know, let's see. I listen to a lot of finance podcasts
Mm-hmm.
and videos, and I also listen to a lot of like conservative political podcasts and liberal social podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Getting all the angles.
I try to get all the angles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I definitely see and understand where people are coming from with conservative values. I don't hold most of them.
Mm-hmm.
I hold some of them. And I hold more progressive, liberal, left-leaning, whichever everyone gets nitpicky about
Yeah.
different terms.
Yeah.
Whatever those terms are, I hold more of those. And I also find myself and it's crazy that even saying some of these things makes people feel a way about you.
Mm-hmm.
But I find that I listen more to female hosts than male hosts of
Mm-hmm.
shows. And when I think about it, it makes perfect sense. I mean, my whole schooling was with women. Most
Mm-hmm.
of my mentors have been women.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my friends in school have been women. Y'all were my only guy friends that like I hung. Yeah, you know, y'all are still my only guy friends. All my friends are women, and my role models are as well. And I have obviously male role models that are super strong and things like that. But yeah, there's just something about, I think it's because I'm a guy that when I listen to guys, I'm like, shut the fuck up. You like, you know, you just discovered this, you fucking idiot, or like what, you still think like that? And I think like, since I'm not a woman, there's something other about their perspective that helps give me insight.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing most male insight to me just sounds like me listening to myself the whole time, and I'm not one to jack off constantly. You know, and by that I just mean like I don't need to listen to myself all the time. I need to
Yeah.
listen to somebody else and like gain. I feel like sometimes exclusive, and this is the same for women-dominated spaces. Like women-dominated spaces can become circle jerks, and male-dominated spaces can become circle jerks. Any dominated
an
space,
echo chamber of
yes, yeah, any dominant space can become a little jerk-off session. So that's why I try to remove myself from a dominant space and put myself in a different space, so I can kind of get a different perspective. So anyways, I think that those types of things are things that people might not know, that I listen to those things because they're not here with me. You know, I'm not sharing my my headphones with people.
yeah, yeah.
So but yeah, when I'm walking around or when I'm building homes, I'm listening to probably some, you know,
Geopolitical
finance, feminist theory, history type stuff. And then I dip over into conservative bro stuff, so that way I can still make sure that I'm on track with that. And again, like none of this is shade towards any groups of people. I think that both types of people, when they put themselves in boxes, are annoying. but most people aren't actually in boxes.
Yeah.
We just think everyone else is in a box. We're
Yeah.
like, those people are dumb. You know, the
Yeah.
Vietnamese or whatever that war vet was talking about, you know, like, you know,
We thought they were
we
stupid.
thought they were dumb, you know,
No,
but
they're
anyway.
just people.
Yeah. Yep. And then they booby trapped 15 of your squadron. I'm like, holy shit. So anyways, people put people in boxes, and I don't think that that's useful because I like all of the things, you know, but I don't like all of the things all of the time, you know. I don't like Joe Rogan all of the time. But when he has an interesting guest on, the benefit of his platform is that he can get a lot of guests on. Now,
And
he's
have
been
very long conversations.
very long. That's the whole setup. So you can really get a solid understanding. And I like that he does that. And I think he does it one of the best ways because he is so flexible. He just agrees with whoever comes on. And that's how you get to learn about somebody else. If you're going to just be combative with somebody else, that's not you learning about them. That's you showing, that's you exposing them, or, you know, look, we're going to get something. No, this is how we do it. So anyways, I think he's very good at that. So I like him, but I do not like him all the time. I like more progressive talking heads to gain an understanding of some geopolitical stuff, but I don't like all of their, and this is easing up in recent months to years, all of their social talking points. Sometimes that perspective is exhausting to me, but I also recognize that I'm in a relatively privileged demographic. So if some people feel like their experience is more traumatic than mine, then I'm not going to stop them from talking about that. I live a pretty chill life. And when I say privileged, you can take that in any way that you want. But at the end of the day, I am privileged. I have this sick home and a cool wife. That's fucking privilege right there. Not everybody gets that, you know, like, and I get to play my PlayStation and I have a smartphone. That's fucking cool as hell. So I try to not allow, you know, my experience to make me shit on other people's experience. I feel like sometimes people do that. They're like, oh my God, shut up about whatever social issue you're going through. It's fine. And it's like, ugh. Like, okay, well, how about you shut up about whatever struggle you're going through, the alcoholism or the issues with your parents or whatever. You haven't spoken to your wife in 3 months. How about you get over that? Yeah, shut the fuck up. Everybody's got issues. Some people want to talk about them. Yeah. So I like that kind of stuff. Yeah. Other than that, though, I don't know if there's anything out of the blue that people might think about me or not know that I like. Everyone knows that I like, you know, weird Japanese stuff and cute things and gay things and design things, and they know I like drawing anime girls and
Weird memes of
weird
fucked up,
memes.
funny memes.
Oh, I love the weirdest memes. Obviously, everyone thinks they're on a weird side of the internet, so I'm not trying to say I'm on the fucking weirdest side of the internet, but it's a weird one. It's my side for sure. I found that. Me and the 500,000 other people that like that meme, but that's the interesting thing about the internet is that you see how weird, how many other people think like you. You thought you were unique, but a million people liked that, dude.
All right.
Yep.
Does that conclude?
Yeah. I mean,
Still can't figure out
if there's other things
how
that
you're weird and no one knows.
Yeah. If other people think that there's something, then please help inform me.
leave a comment.
Yeah. Or ask. Yeah, because I was trying to think about that just in general. Sorry. And if I think about it, I'll come back to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. When was the last time you were proud of yourself?
Actually, this semester I was pretty proud of myself. I went to the gym a good amount of times.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty fun. Well, not fun, actually. It was miserable, but it was cool that I went. And then I fell off, but I'm not too bummed about that. I'll just get back on.
Mm-hmm.
So Monday I'm starting class, and I like to start everything all at once, so I'll also go to the gym.
Love to overload.
Yeah, love it. And so I'm going to go to the gym and, hopefully keep it up this whole semester. That'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I found a lot of benefits from that. So, yeah, I was pretty proud of doing that, even though I, quote unquote, fell off.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm proud. Anytime I say I'm proud, I just start singing, I'm proud to be an American. Yeah, I would just say that then. Yeah, proud that I went to the gym. Started doing some active stuff. I'm doing other things, but that I'm excited about, but I don't know if I'm taking full on pride in it.
Wow.
Like,
you do the coolest shit and you're proud of going to the gym. In my head, I'm just like, this, what is...
well, I mean, yeah, I'm proud of this stuff too, yeah.
You just build the coolest structures and you're remodeling the house by yourself. And like, yeah, I went to the gym. I'm pretty proud of that.
Well, I mean, for me, that was hard. Like,
I guess that's true.
yeah. And so, like...
because you're already good at the other stuff, I guess.
And it's not even about being good at it. I just... through work, this is work for me. Yeah. The building and the drawing and stuff, because I fell into the trap, which is also another, privilege in a way of doing something that I really like and I found ways to make money on it. So like I make money by selling a little bit of art, and I make money by selling a little bit of construction. And those are also the things that I enjoy. And so I do take pride in my work for sure. And I am proud of how this house looks. But since I do it all the time, I don't think about it as like a proud moment. I'm like, that project is done. Thank God. Here's the next project.
You don't just bask in it and
yeah,
man, that is so cool.
And I do not mean that to be in any way like basking in these projects. I do so many of them. But I'm just like, but again, it is what I do for work. Yep. And so it's like, yep, this is good work. Also, sometimes it stresses me out, like looking at all of it, because I can start to pick it apart, because the other part of my job is to critique.
Sure.
And so I look at my own stuff and I'm always like, oh, dang. Well, you can kind of see where that could have been adjusted. You knew that going into that. Oh, you should have. But anyways, and I actually have made a couple of cool drawings recently that I'm,
happy with.
Yeah, proud of getting back. Yeah,
at least.
Yeah, and I am happy with. Yeah, and so, but really, I think the going to the gym thing, because it, that's me taking pride in my body.
Yeah, and
I myself.
Guess, thinking about it now, I mean, that does make sense, because you build and you design and you do artwork all the time. Yeah. But yeah, you're not a super like sports fitness type of person, so going to the gym would be a hard thing for you, and you would. I could see how that. Yeah. You would be proud of that.
Yeah, and again, it does sound silly, but yeah, that is true. Yeah, just like some of my friends that are really athletic, like the idea of doing something creative and technical like that, with like dexterity essentially, is overwhelming to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, I just laid on the couch today and went to the gym instead of worked on my renovation.
Yeah.
And me, I'm like, fuck the gym. I got to get this renovation done because I'm avoiding the gym.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah. And so, yeah, going to the gym. And I don't know. I need to figure out, and I know it takes time. That's something that I need to reconcile with is the time to actually get strong. It just takes time. And I haven't worked out consistently for a couple years because of school. I just let it all go. And at least before school, I was lifting plywood all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always pretty strong. And then I'd like to get to where I've never been able to, and maybe I could have, but I never pushed myself to like bench probably even like over 150 pounds.
I bet you can.
Maybe I could, but anytime I put the bar like weight on that bar, dude, I'm just like, oh God, oh no, I just want to lift the bar, like, and then I'm like, it's 45 pounds, Ethan. I'm like, I don't give a shit, actually. Like, I don't care if it's 10 pounds.
Oh, you just hate it.
Yeah, and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do some curls, and I'll do some, and I'm just like, oh God, fuck.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually worked out with you as long as I've known you. And yeah, we played sports a handful of times, and you were just like, man, don't care.
Yeah, I'll go hang out and talk.
Yeah.
But then I realized that some of the sports guys aren't there to talk, and so I'm like, oh damn, I'm not trying to take away from y'all's time, you know?
Oh.
Yeah. So going to the gym, I was taking some creatine for a little bit. Yeah, not for the pump, but for, I guess it does provide an energy boost. It seems like Eli was saying that it's one of the most studied supplements out there, so we have a lot of data on it, I guess. And he was like, yeah, it seems like when people take it for a long time and then they stop taking it, they lose 5 or 10 off their personal best in lifting. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so I don't mind a little bit of energy. I wasn't, again, taking the amounts that I assume teenagers take when they do get swole. Or teenagers and young adult men. Because I do remember some guys taking it when I was younger, and they kind of, got a little puffy.
Yeah.
But they were probably also taking a ton and working out all the fucking time.
Yeah. Drinking. Yeah. I remember always hearing that you gained a lot of water weight taking it, but I don't know.
I don't know if that's true. Who knows? Yeah. Anyways, I took it for, a couple months, and then when I stopped taking it, I also stopped going to the gym. So who knows if it gave me strength or it didn't, because I stopped all of it at once.
You're not doing personal bests every week.
I wish I was. Maybe if I was going with somebody, then I would have somebody to like encourage me. But since I don't, it's just me and a podcast with, some female news anchor talking about economics, and I'm just like, feeling real jazzed about this,
Yeah.
Yeah, or I'm listening to some Japanese anime music, and I'm like, well, this isn't really doing it either. Yeah. But this semester I'm going to get it, and I'm going to get that body, so when we go to Mexico, I can,
yeah, shirts off type of,
yeah,
let's do it.
Shirts off.
I've been thinking that as well. I want to not look that sloppy.
That's what I'm saying, a little bit, trim up a little bit. I'm not trying to get super jacked. I just would like to also, and really the going to the gym thing is also just because I don't want to, now that I am 35, you realize pretty much immediately that unless you, actively
don't use it, you're
you
going to lose it.
Totally lose it. Yeah. So I was like, all right.
Yeah, I've noticed. Yeah, I'm 36 now, and I work on cars all day, and I gotta get up and down. But yeah, I can feel it. Like, it's crazy. Throughout the day, I'm just like, why does it hurt?
Yes. Why?
I'm active all the time. Why?
Yep. But I guess some resistance training.
Yeah.
Actual resistance on your muscles. So I don't know. I also passed 200 pounds for the first time in the last maybe year. I would assume maybe a year and a half. I don't know. But I was like, oh, wow, over 200. No, maybe it was the last year. And I was like, no.
That's not going to work for me.
Yeah, it's fine. But it would be better if it was muscle or if there's some more muscle built in to the 200 pounds, even just 10% more.
Yeah.
Like any amount more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was going to the gym.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I forgot even what the question was.
Yeah.
Proud of yourself. All right. Is there anything you want to accomplish by your next birthday?
Oh my God, dude! This
A million
year
things?
is insane.
Too many things?
Too many things. I was telling Kelsey there are too many things, and she was like, "You're gonna have to make a decision." And I always make decisions. You can't do everything. There's always gonna be some compromises, but big thing, I'd like to finish the house. Maybe not the bedrooms, but everything in a public space, meaning the bathroom. So all the siding, all the trim work that I have left in the bathroom, I would like to do in a year. That might be challenging because there's also a lot of travel, both for Kelsey and I and some for work that I have to do. But I think for summer I might be able to knock out a good chunk. So that's one thing. I would also like to do Regular Ass People season 2. It's been 5 years since the first one. And the hard thing though about that is I would like to redo a few people because it's been 5 years since I've had them on camera like that. But I've also met so many new people through school and work that I'd like to get them a little segment.
Yeah.
So that's just like, and I can't do 45. I did 30 last time, and that was a lot. I can't just keep adding, you know?
I mean, you would want to basically just do it all again? Or you want to only do the new people that you've come to know?
Well, that's what I was saying. I'd like to do the original people again.
Yeah.
Because
a whole new
it's-
interview and
yeah.
a new sketch or...
Yep, a new sketch to update them, like where they're at and like what they sound like, what they're doing 5 years later.
Yeah.
But again, the new people I would like to get on as well. But I can't get all the new people and all the old people.
Yeah.
So I either just do new people this season and then hit back on the old people at 10 years, you know, and do something like that, or just keep doing new people as it goes, you know. And these are just the, you know, people that influenced the first one. These are the people that influenced the next one. Could be something like that.
Yeah, and I suppose you want to do it as like a one giant project
Yeah.
rather than what I'm doing is just basically lifelong. Every couple of weeks I'm doing a new interview.
Yep. Yeah.
You think you could do that though?
One project?
No, just
This year?
like spread it out so you can do all 45 or however many it is.
Yeah, but I like...
You want to have a final thing?
Uh-huh. Because I want everyone to come and watch the final thing.
Yeah.
Because then they get to kind of like hear the other things. And
Yeah.
that was very cool at the first one. I think everyone was like, oh, cool. Like, I didn't know that was you. And I didn't, oh, that's cool. Or I didn't know that about you. And so that was a neat art project. But I would also like to do one for my university, for my program, for the interior design program, so they can use as promotional media. Having a couple of the tenure instructors talk about what makes design for them, you know, what do they like to do in design, what are students going to learn, you know, like have like a little promotional video in that format. That was a thought. Or like get to know the professor. And for them, it wouldn't be 3-hour conversation like it was for regular ass people. It'll be like an actual 10-minute thing, and I'll chop it up. So I'd like to do that. I'd like to finish the house. I'd like to do that. I've been meaning to redo my portfolio from school. I need to update it. I've been teaching this computer program for a couple semesters now, and I know it a little bit better, and I'm seeing student work, and they're advancing, and so I'm like, all right, it's time to update mine. Also, at some point, I'm going to want to get back in the industry on that side of things, and so I'm like, I just need to keep that portfolio updated. That takes a lot of time, though, because I need to redo some projects and like update the projects, not just do the portfolio. So I'd like to do that. Hopefully it happens. And then I just started an art project. It's the 30th anniversary of Gundam Wing, and I'm doing a big piece on each of the Gundam's portraits.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've started?
Yeah, and that has to happen this year.
Just for your own
For my own
pleasure.
respect of Gundam Wing. Yeah, my own pleasure, my own respect of Gundam Wing. And it is the 30th anniversary. So I know that people are going to be talking about it.
Yeah,
It's
and I feel like
Yeah. I'd like to sell them at some point.
that's going to be something that you're
Yeah.
going to do great at.
Oh, yeah, I am so jazzed about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already know it's going to be awesome.
Oh, dude, I'm so happy for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'd like to do that. And yeah, they're going to, probably be this big, 2x2.
It's going to be physical media or
Physical
digital?
media. Yeah. Physical media. So what I'm doing right now is laying out the faces digitally, and then I'll print those, and then I'll do the final versions on physical media.
Mm-hmm.
I just like to lay out things digitally because I can do it on the go, and I can do it on a smaller display.
Yeah.
Sketch it out, get things right where I need it, and then print it, and then redo it physically.
Yeah.
And it also feeds my itch for doing things multiple times. I like to do the same thing a couple of times. So I'll sometimes even make an art piece a couple of times, like those masks that typically hang up over there. They're about to go in an art show. If it gets accepted, I applied. I think it will. It fits the brief. But if they go into an art show, hopefully they get sold. If they don't get sold, I'm going to redo them because it's just time for an update. I still like them, but I just want to see them with new techniques. So yeah, do the portfolio, do the Gundam thing for sure, the Gundam thing, and then I need to also what was the other thing that I thought? There's a couple of work things, but yeah. Anyways, like I said, too many things. I need to edit down, or what I really think I just need to do is do way less social media and way less procrastination. If I fully just do the work this year, I could potentially get all of that done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean by social media? Like
Scrolling.
put things on it or doom scrolling?
Just scrolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do post things periodically, but I pretty much scroll. And yeah, I mean, I see my time, my average daily, a couple hours a day. That's a couple of hours every day. If I put a couple hours into each of those projects every day,
Yeah.
and I don't need to be working 24/7,
No.
But again, a lot of these things are enjoyable for me. Working on the Gundam thing is enjoyable. Working on my portfolio is enjoyable. I just need to stop doing the scrolling.
Yeah.
Because the scrolling is not, I don't even play video games that much. I allow myself maybe an hour or so every other day. When Kelsey goes to bed, I might play for a little bit. But oftentimes, a lot of times what happens when she goes to bed is I just scroll on my phone for a while. And I'm like, I could have just either played my game and which is more productive than scrolling,
Yeah.
or I could have worked on that artwork, which that was all I thought about when I was scrolling. I was scrolling thinking, I wish I was working on my artwork. But
it's so easy to
Oh,
just
God.
stay there and flick the screen.
This next image is going to be sick, and I'm actually not going to want to work on my artwork.
And
Fuck,
this-
I wish I
this
was working on my artwork.
Yeah. I'll stop after this one because
Yeah,
this next image will be the pinnacle of everything.
it's the end. This is it. Oh, whoops. Oh, let me click on the search. Oh, now there's 50 images in front of me, so now I can scroll. That's macro scrolling. From one image to the fucking 9 images you get on the search page on Instagram, you can just scroll for pages. Yeah, so it's kind of disgusting sometimes when I think about it. But it's a part of my life, and I need to I'm trying to just grapple with that. So, again, without sounding militant about it, if I get another benefit of teaching at university is I do have breaks during the day. And a lot of times I fill those breaks as a way to avoid working on what I need to be working on. Since I find social engagement productive, I will instead just go find a student and talk to them about design work. That's like a funny way that I end up telling myself I'm being productive while avoiding the things that I should be working on.
Well, I mean, you should at least be happy you're not just gonna go hide in a corner and scroll.
I am 100% happy about that.
Yeah.
And I am thankful that I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, it's the same. It's not the same, but it's the same in the sense of like,
You're still not
I'm not doing the artwork.
doing the task.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're all distractions, and you're allowed some distractions for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I don't do it 24 hours, but this year I might need to do it a few more hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Bonus question. I don't even know this answer, but how did we meet?
I think that we met at Mike's birthday party.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Probably 12-ish.
Yeah, I was going to say 10 to 12.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, yep. I remember we only met for a second. I think you were leaving or I was leaving or something. Because it was like in a
I
doorway.
think we were there.
Or maybe we didn't.
We were probably there for a few hours together.
Okay,
But
okay.
it's not like we were interacting because we didn't know each other.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you guys were 2 years younger than me.
Yep.
But he knew me because obviously we were 2 houses down from each other.
Yep.
So I was the older friend there with all of him and everyone from school.
Yep.
So everyone there was 2 years younger than me. And
Yep.
I never really met y'all, only knew Mike.
Yep.
But I was still there, just hanging out,
Yep.
playing video games. I don't even remember really.
Yeah, sounds about right though.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I just remember like there only being like a brief interaction, but yeah. Because that's how I then knew, oh, that's Dog. Like I've heard of this man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember even interacting with you, but I remember you there. I can see you
Yeah,
there.
me too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I probably didn't see you until Aubrey times
Mm-hmm.
when you came up in an Oldsmobile or something.
Yeah.
Because that's really when we met was after I had moved to Aubrey.
That was just, I got a car. Mike's like, hey, you want to go to my friend's house
Mm-hmm.
in Aubrey?
Yeah.
I guess that's what happened. I don't even remember being like, oh, okay, this is your friend Ethan. I remember.
Yeah.
Just all of a sudden we were all just best friends.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. I would imagine we hung out that day, or you came up and then we got introduced, and then we were just like, oh, that was great. Let's just keep doing. All right, we're going to do this for the next
2 years.
Yeah, 200 weekends. You know, like yeah,
Pretty much.
mm-hmm. Yeah, because that like, and what's funny about that when you say it like that, that's probably why I've lived with so many people. Is because I felt like we all kind of lived together during high school because we just spent so much time with each other.
Yeah.
Even with me being in the other city, again, my weekends were with y'all.
Yeah.
And we were all sleeping in a room together,
Yeah.
or waking up in a room, and like, yeah, I would also just like show up at y'all's houses. Yeah, there were times, you know, hopefully your parents aren't too freaked out about this, but there were times when I would be on my way somewhere and I knew that probably no one was around at your house, and so I would go shower at your house real quick and then go to work. Yeah, only like 2 or 3 times. But I was like, all right, Dog's at work already. I have to shower somewhere. And I was like, all right, I know Dog's house is open. I'm going to just peek in there and go to the shower. Because I was like, if somebody sees me, it's not like I wouldn't probably sleep over. I'm probably going to sleep here tonight anyways, you know, like I'm going to be here.
Yeah, they would probably just assume, oh, Ethan slept in all night, and now he's just now getting up.
Yep, something. And so I was like, yeah, I'm just going to swing by there. But yeah, so since we pretty much lived together, it seems like a lot of my adult friends we were roommates with or lived right next to. Because for me, I feel like that's really the only way that you get to know somebody. It takes so long to get to know someone organically, you know, like at work or whatever. I mean, it works a little bit better because you go through your day-to-day together. But unless you work with somebody, and the hard thing about keeping up a work relationship is once you guys don't work together, the relationship usually goes in different directions.
Mm-hmm.
But if you live with somebody, and then you hang out with them as well, not just live with them,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, you become really close with them. So yeah, those days, yeah, living when we all lived together essentially in high school.
We were just rotating houses.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Everyone's house had a different vibe, but
Mhm.
yeah. And we did different things at different people's houses, I feel like.
Yeah, I love that we weren't the stereotypical teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
We did not drink.
No
Ever.
drinking. Mm. We'd have huge parties after at IKEA times. No drinking.
Yeah, we didn't drink till after high school.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, you didn't drink till way after, but
Yeah, most of y'all didn't drink
yeah,
until.
we were just sober, being goofy fuckers.
Yep, being real,
Yeah,
driving all over the place and just being out,
yeah,
because we had pretty much 100% freedom.
yeah. That was also insane.
Rare.
Our parents trusted us.
Yep. I tell my mom some of the things that we were doing. She was like, I just always thought you were at Seth's. And I was like, I was sleeping at Seth's, but until we were asleep, like we were driving to Dallas or driving to Aubrey or whatever.
Climbing a water tower.
Climbing a water tower. Yeah. Going somewhere and yeah. But then we would also be at your house and we would play music there or listen to music for long periods of time. And then we would go to Seth's and play video games.
Uh-huh.
And it was mostly yours and Seth's. I feel like we'd go to Mike's if there was like a family cookout or like if his parents were cooking out for a Cowboys game, we might swing over there or something, get in the pool for a bit. But at least for me, when I was hanging out with all y'all, it was at your house or Seth's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a little bit of time where y'all would come up and we would be at my house, but then that didn't really last for very long. Yeah, that was a good time though.
Yeah.
Pivotal. And yeah, then I remember Seth's house burning down.
Mm.
And they had to go to that other house for a little while.
Yeah.
We hung out there a little bit.
I feel like I don't know why we didn't hang out with Seth that often during that little time.
Yeah.
I went to that other house maybe once.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too. I would imagine he was probably going through a lot. I
would imagine.
His house burned down.
Yeah.
I know they also did a lot of the renovation
Themselves.
so
Yeah.
he was probably busy with that.
Yeah.
I think he did maybe start drinking in high school a little bit, if I can
Yeah, at
remember.
the end.
Yeah, they're near the end, and that was kind of near the end. So I don't know. He probably was just going through a rough time,
Yeah.
hanging out,
Yeah.
smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, he did that.
I remember I broke a pack of his cigarettes, and he hated me back then. But he'd still let me sleep in his bed. I was like, yeah, bitch, I'm still sleeping over. Because we were friends, and I wasn't going to let him not be my friend. He just hated me,
Right.
I was like, we can get through this, dude. You don't have brothers.
Yeah.
I have some brothers. Sometimes you just hate each other, but let's keep hanging out.
Yeah.
You know?
You're a shithead, but
Yeah.
I still love you.
I need a place to sleep.
Let me crawl inside this cabinet in your bunk bed and sleep on top of you. God, we're little weirdos. Who's doing that?
Who's doing that? Sleeping on top of each other. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a triple stack. Yeah, that was a weird bunk bed. Was it a bunk bed or it was like
Yeah.
a work dresser desk?
And then it had the trundle underneath, like the pull-out bed.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so you could work and sleep and...
And the whole back was just an open space.
Yep, like a big closet. I would assume for
Did
storage.
it have a rail up top?
I don't think it did, but
Maybe.
it probably could have.
Yeah, that was good times.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember one time we had a party and my girlfriend was over and we crawled back into the little closet. Not to do anything necessarily other than to just... I think that's the thing. Like sometimes people assume that teenagers are just in a private space to fuck.
No.
But sometimes you're just in a private space to be intimate and like have a conversation and be with this one person. So that's what was going on. But yeah, then Wes came in and was like, you two got to get out of there. And I totally understood. I was like, yep, makes sense. We are in a little closet, but also we were just talking.
We were just talking
Yeah.
away from our shithead friends.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was those were good times in that whole. And then Toby moved in down the street.
Oh yeah.
That was cool. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Lots of. It would have been awesome if I had stayed in the colony, because I lived down the street on Ashland.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all would have been like within 2 miles of each other.
Yep. That would have been
Yeah.
real cool.
Crazy.
Yeah. But for some reason, my mom, or I guess my parents, just really had their mind set on buying a new home. Because I guess they had the opportunity to buy the home that we were renting, which in hindsight, I think they probably questioned why they didn't do that either. Because it was right across the street from my dad's brother, in like my uncle and aunt.
Yeah, and your
Sean
mom
and Bonnie.
could walk to work.
To Griffin, yeah. And then they went way out to Aubrey, and we had to start commuting 45 minutes one direction. And it was like, oh, I guess they just got wrapped up in the home buying dream.
Yeah.
And they got a pretty good deal on it.
Right.
So I was like, all right, yeah, I totally understand how it happened. I'm just like, oh man, had that not, that would have been a totally different world.
Yeah.
But I probably wouldn't be sitting right here.
Right.
I'd be doing something else. I would probably live in the Metroplex.
You'd be an accountant.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, something,
No.
like I do think about that, because had I stayed in the colony, might not have ever met Kels. Wouldn't have moved down here because of Kels. Not moving down here means no tiny housing, so maybe no carpentry, maybe just art.
Were you even thinking about that in high school?
No, I did take a woodworking class with Mr. Stevens, but that was just because I needed an elective.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody took that.
Yeah.
Which was cool because I feel like woodworking was definitely going away at that time.
Even
but
then.
our school still had it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And then they had cabinet making at that place.
Dale Jackson?
Dale Jackson.
They had cabinet making?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
And they would go to win competitions. It was either at Dale Jackson or Mr. Stevens. I think he ran it at Dale Jackson. Because he gave me a handout for it. He was like, hey, this is the team that goes and does these things, and we build cabinets. So who knows? Maybe he saw something that I didn't know. Maybe, I'm sure I was liking what I was doing because it was just making art on wood.
Yeah.
But no, I wasn't really thinking about that. The carpentry stuff kind of came because of a necessity to build the tiny house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we were living with 6 roommates in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah. As we were literally just, giving out rooms in our 2-bedroom apartment.
You get a room and you get... Gosh.
Yeah. That was nuts.
Seriously.
It really was.
I went in that apartment maybe once.
Yeah.
Probably just in passing for an hour. I don't even know.
Yeah, I think you and Mike came down for some reason on motorcycles.
Oh, yeah.
For just a short period of time. Yeah. And I did remember thinking, I wonder why they don't stay the night or stay longer.
I don't even remember. That was a long time ago.
It was 2011, definitely. That's when I moved here.
Right. Yeah. Was Kelsey still living on campus? I feel like we passed by. She had a dorm.
Oh,
she was in the apartment. That was a different time, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, because you helped come down. You helped bring my car down.
Mm-hmm.
With Seth and Mike that one time. And that was another time. Yeah, so I think you came down twice and just turned around and went back.
Okay.
Once on the bikes and then once with them.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember why y'all came down, but I just remember it was to help me bring something when I moved. Mm-hmm. And we did go to her apartment on campus because I was living there with her secretly in a dorm.
Yeah.
Or in an apartment.
Yeah.
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 And then, but yeah, so the carpentry thing kind of came from that. And then even then, I didn't really think it was going to be a thing. I just thought it was going to be me building this little tiny house and then I would live in it. And then
eventually you'd go back to normal society.
Yeah, or not building.
Right.
I just built it to live in it and then had no expectation or anticipation of it taking off at all. And then those tiny house culture started taking off.
Yeah.
And I posted it on a tiny house website and those people from the UK came and wanted to film it.
Yeah, you did that little interview.
Yep, did a little interview, and so I made a second one before they came because I was like, oh, well, I can show you a better one. Like, I have more ideas now, so I made that other one. And that really, I think, once I had made two, somebody else then saw both of them and was like, I would like something like that, and that kind of just spiraled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons why I don't really ever think about it as a business. Like, I was never running a business. I was literally just like somebody else that I knew was like,
You're still just
could you build us one?
filling requests.
Yep, just
You're still
yeah.
catching up.
I'm still just trying to catch up on requests, you know? Yeah. And so that's some of the people that got in on those early ones got a really sweet deal.
Mm.
Yeah. No regret or anything on that. I'm just laughing at some of the pricing. You know, I think I helped build one of my friends, him and his girlfriend at the time. I built a tiny house for them in their backyard. They were living on some family land, and in the backyard I built them a tiny house. And it was real simple. It didn't have a bathroom or anything, just like a place to sleep with and cook and do yoga. And I think I only charged them $2,500 plus the materials,
To build
the whole thing.
a house.
Yep. Because I was like, well, they're just my friends, and I don't want to overcharge them, so I guess I'll just
Yeah.
$250 a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah, it's not like easy work. It's not like anyone can do it,
sure. Yeah.
in quotes, but yeah, I'm sure you were doing an adequate job.
Yeah.
It's
oh,
pretty
cool.
specialized.
It's pretty specialized. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I also designed it. Like I had to think about
Yeah.
their
Okay.
space use. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$250 a week for
For a house.
skilled labor.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Because I also had just quit my job at HEB for that time, and I was just like, well, I guess I'll just build my friends this house, and then I just want to work on artwork and building furniture. And so that to me was just like, I'll help my friends out, make a little bit of money, and then I'll get to building and drawing. And then I did actually get to do that for a little while, and because that's always been the goal. The goal actually since I've been building is to get to the point where I can stop building so I can start drawing again. But the builds just keep coming.
Uh-huh.
And I like the people.
Yeah.
So I keep saying yes.
And the projects are sweet.
They're cool projects, you know? And so I'm just like, all right, I'll do the project. And then I'm like, I just want to get back to doing this book that I've been avoiding.
These Gundam wings.
These Gundams. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you're just building all this stuff because you're a sweet guy.
Just trying to be a sweet guy, you know? Yeah. Trying to make up for something in a past life, I think. But, yeah, and obviously I enjoy it. Not to downplay the enjoyment and the excitement about design, but when I think, oh, maybe that's something that people don't really know about me, is that
You just want to draw.
I just want to draw. I like designing. I don't mind designing and building. I got good at building because I wanted the designs to work out.
Yeah.
But it would be great to just do the designing. But there's also more money in building and designing.
Right.
Yada, yada, yada. I don't even want to just draw designs. I just want to draw anime characters in fantasy art. Like, you know? Yeah.
In your perfect world.
Yes, I just got sidetracked.
Yeah.
With all these cool projects.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stoked. Again, very excited and
Yeah.
feel grateful for the whole experience. Yeah. Ideal world, wake up, get some coffee, do some drawing, play
Draw
a video
for 12
game.
hours.
Yeah. Maybe draw for 3 or 4 hours, play a video game,
Huh.
maybe watch an anime episode, do a little bit more drawing, eat some dinner, hang out with Kelsey, go to bed, do it again.
Yeah.
That's ideal.
Wow.
Yeah.
One day.
One day.
When you're 65.
Yep, I'll get there after I build 500 more houses.
Oh, gosh. You poor guy.
I know, woe is me. Yeah. Yeah. That's probably
Cool.
that.
That's how we met.
Yep.
Oh,
bad.
okay. One more question.
Oh, yeah.
What was I going to ask? If you could go to space, what would you do? This is just a silly question.
If I go to space,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know really what the options are in space.
Like you can get in a shuttle and go wherever you want.
Oh, okay.
You can hop out.
Oh, okay.
In your little spacesuit,
Okay.
do a thing.
I was gonna say I just like to be doing flips and shit.
Yeah.
And
With the little umbilical cord
yeah. Uh-huh.
hanging outside of it.
Oh man, to see the scale of a planet, that's got to be nuts. That's got to be fucking
Right.
drive you insane.
Mm.
To see the scale of a planet, like,
You have to back
oh my
up.
gosh,
Look at the moon going around the Earth.
really got to back up. Yeah, I'd like to see that. I'd probably be really interested in just hanging out on the outside of the space shuttle, looking at a planet.
Mm.
Even if it's Earth or the sun, probably not staring at the sun, or the moon, or if I could go to another planet, that'd be cool. But also, I'm sure literally looking at any of it would just blow my mind.
You don't even do anything, just
Nothing.
look.
Yeah, going on the moon would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
The moon seems like a pretty neat spot.
For sure.
Yeah,
Gotta
just
jump.
barren.
I want to jump around.
Oh, just a couple of jumps, All right, got 5 jumps in. Let's
Yeah.
get back. Yeah, do some jumping. Maybe fly through a ring of Saturn. See if you see anything. Is it dust? I don't know what it is.
Pretty sure it's dust and rocks.
Oh, okay.
It's probably really dangerous.
Oh, okay. So it's not like a beautiful dusting. It's like
No.
beep, beep,
Yeah,
beep, beep,
yeah.
beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay. Not do that then.
Look at it.
Yeah, for sure. Check it out. It'd be interesting to see how much colder and warmer each next planet was. So like Mars and what's to the other side of us?
Venus?
Venus? Yeah. And then do Venus. Just be like, fuck, Venus is hot.
Yeah.
Fuck, Mars is cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it only gets colder.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not good.
It's probably insanely cold.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
even
like, how cold is it on Pluto?
know. Gosh, unbearable.
Yeah. It's at least freezing. Right? Like,
Yeah,
they don't
absolutely.
get any non-freezing days. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, Pluto, I think it's back. Is it back as a planet?
I don't know.
I heard it got kicked out, and then I heard that it might be back, but that could have just been a troll.
I have no idea.
Yeah. And then everyone always talks about that extra planet that's out there, where they're like, oh, there's that one that has a much larger ring around the sun. And I'm always like, what? Like, if it was important, we would talk about it.
Yeah,
We
I don't
barely-
even know what you're talking. Like it kind of sounds like it's a thing, but I don't even know.
Yeah, I only feel like I've seen it on a few like science charts in a class or something. It's like, you see all the orbits, and then you always see like a part of this one extra, and they're like this
It's
one.
like Planet X or something.
Yeah, it's like way out there, and yeah, it's even more planety. It's cold as hell out there. Yeah. Well, and then you watch some of those videos on the scale of the universe. And that. I mean, I don't know if anything is real, if I'm honest. But if that is real, then it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing one that was backing out from Earth. Obviously, you have to keep, multiplying the scale of your zoom.
Yeah.
But it got so far out that it looks like basically blood vessels. Like all the galaxies, kind of stick together, kind of in a line. And the whole thing just looks like blood vessels.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's super cool, but nobody took that photo. That was a created image, and so that's why I get that models can be created and stuff, but I also know that people believe all sorts of other things that are improvable.
Yeah.
So I don't want to sound like a science denier at all. I think that's how we run the world currently.
Yeah.
And so it makes as much sense as it needs to. But I'm also fine with there being a future where we realize that all of that stuff was wrong too.
For sure. Yeah, I think about that all the time. Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, don't know shit.
I pick my boogers, dude. Like, you know, like I'm fucking living my normal life. I don't know a damn thing.
Yeah.
In comparison to what could be known,
Mm-hmm.
my God.
Yeah, I'm thinking when we die, they'll probably...
I
the
hope.
Big Bang is probably all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I hope that when we die, we find something out.
Mm.
You know, I'm not saying that we will or saying that I have any idea what that is, but yeah, that would be cool. Sometimes I think about, I have this new thing that I've been ruminating on. Most people seem to say it's not very valuable thought. They shut it down pretty quick, which is fine. I'm not worried about it being right or other people thinking it is. I'm just like, that would be crazy and cool. And I hope in a way that's true, but also scared about it. That maybe when you die, you do just become a baby. I don't know if it's instantly or if it's later. So like reincarnation type stuff. But sometimes when I see babies crying, I'm just like, oh man, I hope that you're not remembering your past life and realizing that it's slipping away from you. You know, like, because somebody once was talking about, what if the light at the end of the tunnel is just like the light at the end of a womb? You know, like
It's, yeah.
you're dying and
Like
then
a sausage
immediately,
link.
yeah,
Is the next
yeah.
sausage.
And so if that's the case, you're gonna come out and you're gonna be like, I was an accountant.
Yeah.
You know,
Or
and like,
you're just a dumb baby that can't move or talk.
Yeah.
And you're like, shit.
and like,
I used to talk and walk.
but then also, since you're a baby and you can't do much, your memories start to fade probably pretty rapidly because there's no need for them in this new body. And so
Yeah.
you're crying and you're frustrated because you remember that you could do things, but you don't even really remember what things are because you have a dumb baby's brain, you know? And so you're just like frustrated. And,
Yep.
and because then you sometimes hear that when some babies start to talk, not all of them, but I've heard cases of people saying, oh yeah, I remember my past life. And they're like 2. And you're like, what? How are you talking about past lives? Or 3, you know, whenever they're having full-on sentences.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's just weird.
I have heard that. I feel like there's a story of a kid was like he saw a picture or a baseball card of some guy and he's like, hey, that was me. Mm-hmm. Like, what? No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
This is an 80-year-old photo.
Yeah, Tam has some stories like that. That when she was a kid, apparently her parents were telling her that when she was a kid, or maybe she remembers, I don't know. We can ask about her saying, yeah, I had a past life and this is what I did and this is who I was and I was a mom or I was a banker or whatever, you know? So yeah, that type of stuff happens. So I get a little bit interested in that. Also when, from what I've seen about the universe, and again, it could all be wrong and stupid and dumb, but like, and what we see about the things that make up our cells and stuff, you know, they're tiny. I don't know if we can actually zoom that far or if we're just making predictions, but
Yeah.
I don't fucking know anything. And so it seems like the cells that make up our bodies are similar to what the universe looks like when you zoom out.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I was
yeah.
getting at.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, the blood vessels.
As
Yeah.
you go out, the planets revolving around the sun looks like nuclei or whatever.
Yep.
Protons and electrons flying around,
Yep.
and then you back out. You're like, oh, there's just a bunch of cells, and then you back out, and you're like, oh, they're all inside the blood vessels.
There's a cluster and there's this, you know, and so like that's interesting to me because then I start thinking, okay, so there's other forms of, maybe other dimensions are just like actual dimensions of reality. Like we are on a cell, but we are made up of tinier cells.
Yeah, like
Which
you can
means-
keep going in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, which means like, what if there's one little cell in here that has life on
A
it?
galaxy.
Yeah. Well, because also people are like, well, I'm like, how do you know that the little things that are in there aren't sentient? And they're like, well, we can watch them. And I'm like, dude, but we haven't watched all of them. And if you watch most of the planets out there, they seem barren. But this one has a bunch of fucking life on it. So it seems like the frequency of like sentient life on objects is pretty infrequent. And so maybe we just haven't looked at enough of these fucking little things to find the little microplanet.
Oh, weird. Earth is like the Cancer. It's a mutant, you know?
Oh, okay, yeah. And so
and it sprung.
Yeah.
It's not doing what it was supposed to.
Maybe it's doing something different, you know? And so, but that means there could be greater, levels too.
Mm-hmm.
None of which I will ever know about, I don't imagine. And it also seems like the bummer about the reincarnation thing is I have no memories from it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Because, like, what do you remember before you were born?
Not one damn thing. And
Black. Not even black, just nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, and so since I don't remember anything, I don't imagine I'll remember it if it happens again. And
Yeah.
that's kind of sad. Because I love the people that I'm around and I would like to remember them. But maybe that's why babies cry.
Or they're hungry.
Sometimes they're hungry. But
Yeah.
are they always hungry?
No. 'Cause
Maybe
you give 'em
sometimes
food
they're
and
sad.
They're still crying.
Yeah. That's because they're sad. They miss hamburgers. And all I got is milk.
They miss hamburgers and putting on their own shoes.
Oh, they wish. They toil.
Man,
Yeah.
good times.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good conversation to end it.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
Reincarnation.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's that say? It's 5?
5:07. All right. Yeah, I guess we can wrap it up.
I mean, sure.
Take a little nap.
Sure.
All right, man. Well, thanks for doing this.
Yeah. I'm sure both the girls are already napped.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a good conversation. Those are good questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Feel free to cut that down in any way.
Yeah, probably not a lot of cutting.
Yeah. Or just put the whole thing up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
we
sounds
think
good.
we did pretty good.
Yeah.
No mishaps.